The middle of the week, Bulldogs have got Louisiana Tech. It's going to be warm on Saturday afternoon in Starkville. Let's hear what the head dog, Mike Leach, has to say about the game coming up this weekend.
Just a few days away from the season opener, where do you feel like your team is right now?
Work in progress. I'm glad that we're getting close to playing, though. We're getting tired of playing one another, and I think it's about time to get tested by other teams. And I think we've steadily improved. We got a lot of work to go, but we've been playing hard. We've practiced hard, and and we still have some guys kind of emerging out there. And so, it'll be exciting. It'll be exciting, and I do think there'll probably be some movement as the season goes on. The way it appears, how quick some of the young guys are picking things up.
What are your thoughts on Louisiana Tech?
They're a good team. I think they're good. I think they got some size up front. I think they have a lot of guys back. They're kind of a upperclassman team, and we're a lowerclassman team. So, I think they have quite a lot of experience and, good speed at some positions, good size at others. So.
Austin Kendall starting for them. He was a Big 12 guy. How familiar are you with him, and what have you seen from him if you are?
I'm not curious how it'll come out,
Who's some of the players you see that are emerging for you right now?
I think Teddy Knox is. I think Ra is. I think, I think Scooby Ford has over there on defense. I don't have any specifics. Zach could help you with that, but it does seem like a number of secondary guys there, as they roll them through, they're getting steadily better. Like, in other words, last year we were scraping for safeties. We're just lining somebody up there so we could get through drills, among other things. Now it seems like we have quality people and we can play several of them.
Along those lines with the receivers you mentioned, obviously noticed you had 8 or 9 guys listed on the depth chart. How many do you like to have in that rotation that you can trust?
I'd like to have 8. Ideally have 8 that you can rely on. Sometimes, you might have a guy one size doesn't fit all kind of guy that's got a certain role, and then he plays part of it and another guy plays part of it, type of deal.
On the depth chart, I noticed Jaden Wally and Austin Williams kind of listed as or. I mean, what's kind of your approach with how you plan on dividing those snaps up?
Well, I think that I think they're very close. If anything, right now, I think Austin's ahead, and so we'll just see how they define themselves in practice.
Is Will starting on Saturday?
Well, if we were to play today, he would start on Tuesday. We'll get to Saturday first.
What have you seen from Jameer Calvin in camp, and how do you feel like he's integrated himself into the new team?
He's got real good ball skills. He's got good route skills. He's a good stop-and-go guy. I mean, he can stop and accelerate suddenly, and has a little experience, which I think has helped elevate the others and bring them along.
What are you looking for this week when you're deciding between Chance and Will?
Well, right now, Will's ahead. I think the biggest thing is Will's more consistent and more familiar with the personnel and in the plays. But I think Chance really does a good job and has had a great camp, and certainly is in a position to take it. But I do think Will's ahead right now.
Cameron Jones is one of your offensive linemen at the top of the depth chart. What have you liked about him and what he goes about his business?
Well, he started to emerge last year. Early last year, you couldn't even line up with him. Then he got better and better and better. And then about mid-season, he became a starter. And then he's really had a good offseason. He's kind of got some leadership qualities, which I think are pretty good. And, but he keeps getting better and better. I mean, O-line's a position where if you're a really good O-line, everybody's a senior or a junior. But, I think he's ahead of schedule, which we desperately need, and has elevated others around him, too.
How do you feel about the O-line as a whole?
Improved. Plenty of ways to go, but improved.
Coach, you got a lot of experience back on special teams. You just going into the season, how confident are you in those guys?
I thought we were decent on special teams last year. I thought we also got better as it went on. I feel like we're better this year than we were last year. I do think the experience has helped. But I think we have a little more depth of special teams than we did.
Speaking of that depth, you got a guy like Archer Trafford. When did he come in, and what do you expect from him?
Just keep getting better, keep playing, plug away. I mean, there's no real formula, but I think, it makes it more competitive, and it makes it more competitive as we sort things out and put pressure on people, and then they have to perform better.
What stood out to you about Martin Emerson or Forbes, and how good could those two guys be, you think?
I think they're both really good. I think, I thought Forbes got off to a good start last year. A lot of times a freshman will play scared or he's not ready to play, but that wasn't the case with Forbes. I thought he got out of the chutes pretty good. I thought Martin was one of the better corners in the conference, before last year, and then he continued to reinforce that.
The SEC's announcement the other day about the forfeit rule officially being in place, do you feel your team's in a comfortable spot with either protocols or vaccine rates to avoid that this year?
Well, I don't comment on vaccines, I don't comment on injuries, and I don't comment on COVID. That path changes all the time, so, we let doctors handle that.
What are your thoughts on just the forfeit rule if a team has to be in that situation? I mean, is it fair that they get a loss?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I do know this. Last year we played the University of Georgia with, I'd have to look up the number, something like 44 guys available, 44 scholarship guys available. So if we can do that, if we can do that, we probably won't forfeit, so.
Back to Will, you mentioned how he's, if you guys were to play today, it'd be him. Is he far enough along in kind of like the fall heading into the season as you would like him to be?
No, never is, but I do think he's getting better. I think he's improving. I think he's got some good leadership qualities that has allowed him to put himself in the position he's in,
Is there anything like specific on field that you've seen him improve at a little bit recently?
I think just the transition between his decisions and his reaction to the routes, I think it's quicker and crisper than it was last year. Part of it is I like to think our receivers are too. And then the other thing, we're protecting him a little better.
I know you always want to end camp on a positive note and kind of ramp into the season. Have you seen an elevation of emotion with the team, and are they where you want them to be as far as maybe emotion heading into the weekend?
Well, I've never had a team where I want them to be. I mean, I always think they can improve, but they're excited. Everybody's excited to play. Everybody's excited it's game week.
You've never had a team where you want them to be, I don't guess, but is there much more of a comfort factor right now headed into this season opener as opposed to a year ago when you had kind of a disjointed off season, a little more typical, lead into a season? Is there a little more comfort factor going into year two here?
We've had better, more consistent practices up to this point than we did last year.
In terms of Will's preparation, what kind of stands out to you about what he does just to get prepared between each practice?
Well, he works extremely hard. He's constantly studying. He's constantly on the film. And then the other thing, it's not just the film blurring along. I mean, he draws quite a bit out of it. He's able to pull quite a bit out of it. Some guys will watch film because, they know they should or they want to and they know you want them to, but they don't really get much out of it, And his dad's a coach, so I think that's helped him know how to watch film. So Will does get quite a lot out of it when he watches it.
I know Will and Chance are roommates and good friends off the field. I mean, how much do you kind of see them bouncing ideas off each other and helping each other out going into the season?
They do it all the time. They do it in the meeting room. You'll hear them doing it walking on and off the field because Chance is a good student of the game, too, is always watching. But, they're both kind of that way, constantly talking football.
Just for you, for game week, what does each day look like? What do you try to accomplish each day?
We just try to have consistent practices and finish them, because the biggest thing is the routine, the whole process, and get as much out of it as you can. And, you got to be engaged and focused to do it. And then a lot of that starts with eliminating distractions. I thought we did a good job today.
So that was Mike Leach after practice yesterday. That was in lieu of his normal game week Monday press conference because of, well, the Mississippi State was closed on Monday.